hello there, you ladies and son of a bitch and gentlemen. Just got to get the hair twisted around for everyone. It's going to be an interesting day today because we have a lot of things to discuss. We have a lot of things to say. I've done a lot of preparation and contemplation, I don't really know what to say. Thinking a lot about what to say. Because there's been, obviously, for those who have paid attention, there's been a lot of things said. A lot of things said. What's going on, Ryan Sims? Looks like he's joined the chat here. Cole Trickle has made an appearance, and we're talking about Cole Trickle. I'll tell you what, we're talking about Cole today. Just a little bit. Kendall Young has joined. Oh, I don't even want to think about Kendall Young and the figure on that one. Man, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom and handle my business. But, full of shit, especially what I just said. But we got Skylar Brown joining the show. Anthony Sanders has walked on in. This is just, and Skylar Brown with the Go Larson. There's a lot of things to be said about the Go Larson, I'll tell you that much, and it ain't just this tree in the background. I'll tell you that damn much. I really don't know where to start. We'll see what some people are saying in the comments. Dave Brinkman says Kyle Brinkman Racing. Interesting comment there. That's just beautiful for you to let everyone know about Kyle Brinkman Racing. All I know is I like the hair. Looks very nice. I used to have long hair, but my hair long is naturally curly. So it really doesn't work out too much just because, to get this Kid Rock look, I'd have to do the whole straightener deal. And, maybe on the West Coast I could get Kendall Young to do it for me, but I'm not going to do it myself. So, Rich Rosser says, Larson, baby. You're just so proud of yourself. You and your Larsonites are so happy. You and your Larsonites are so happy. You pulled the hair off nice. I do think so. I was walking in a club the other day, and there was a full-fledged mirror, and I walked by, and I was like, well, no wonder nobody talks shit to me or comes up and says anything. They're scared of me. I mean, look at me. I look scared. Especially with the hair. It's like some weird linebacker. But anyway, Kay Larson, wife for the win. Well, at least when Kyle Larson's wife did the shotgun of beer, it was actually full. I'm so proud of you people for the beer actually being full. That's just so nice. Finally. Hey Chaz, Larson straight up said the Chili Bowl is more competitive than NASCAR. You have to give him some credit. I don't remember Kyle Larson ever saying that. I remember saying that, the whole NASCAR, this and that. Sorry everybody, but this is the biggest race I've ever won. Okay. Well, what? Now, if we're talking about Kyle Larson as a, say previous to winning the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, he's a Brickyard 400 winner, a Daytona 500 winner, a Coca-Cola 600 winner. One of these marquee NASCAR events. I think he won an All-Star race. I think I think he came out of the B main. That was the whole came out of the B main deal. Maybe he ran. I don't really keep up with him in that, but he ain't won no huge NASCAR races. He ain't won Daytona or Brickyard or anything like that. So he really didn't say much when he said that winning the Chili Bowl means more to him, or the biggest win of his career. Russ Hall, your long hair is covering up your redneck. Well, there's a racist right there. See, Russ Hall knows who David Allan Coe is. And if you know who David Allan Coe is, I unfortunately do. He has some very bad lyrics to very interesting, horrible songs. If you don't know who David Allan Coe is, you don't even need to look him up. He's a horrible person. you know, and his mom got drunk after he got out of prison or something, ran over by a train or something. It's horrible. It's horrible stuff. Paul Silva deserves more credit for that win than Kyle Larson. Hashtag facts. Well, maybe. I mean, he did. Somebody told me today, it's like, hey, I mean, he really ain't that much better than everyone else. How's he doing it? Mick Kramer says, was good seeing you and Kevin Woody. Yes, me and Kevin Woody were hanging around listening to David Allen Coe all week. Go check it out. He's spineless. Somebody said that. Tim Tilfer, All-Star, paid $1 million though. I mean, okay, cool. Be a man. Stick to your word. Whatever. Who's your pick to win the Warrnambool Sprint Car Classic? I believe Larson's going over there. If he's going over there, he's going to win. I was rooting for that 17-year-old that got third. Cannon McIntosh is who James Reed is speaking of. You know, that's who James Reed is speaking about. I'm not really too impressed. I mean, like me and Keith Coons said in the interview that we had, you know, there's 25 car driver combinations. I would like to talk, I had ideas on where to start off this talk show, because there's a lot of people talk, you know, and originally, I don't want to get the things lining up incorrectly here, because originally, I did see it as Conor McGregor, Cowboy Cerrone situation, and I had a lot of high-profile people coming to me and making that statement. They thought Bell laid over. They thought that late in the race that McIntosh and Bell did a good job of keeping the rest of the field away from Larson. There was a late restart there where Bell and McIntosh kind of threw dueling sliders, which made no sense at all as to why they would throw sliders right off the restart without a run, without anything, going into 1 and 2. Which basically helped Larson get out in front of the field and pull away. But Bell kind of ran him down there lately, which even looks towards that side of the people saying it's rigged more than anything. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is one of the most elitist events in the world. I mean, you look at how they reworked the track, and James Reed. I'm not discrediting McIntosh's run. I mean, he fell back to 7th. Let's not get past this. McIntosh did fall back to 7th, so he had to climb his way back up there. But at the same time, it looked like Bell did kind of lay over. I mean, Larson's car could have got better, Bell's could have got worse, but there were some moments in there for some who may pay too much attention to the race, how it changed just a little bit. And you watch how the cars are starting to react off the corner. And it didn't necessarily look like a car was going away. It looked like a driver was missing some lines. And who knows, maybe that's just, you know, inconsistency. Bad judgments. You know, bad judgments. Throwing a pick situations. But here's the fact. I love how, you know, I was impressed with, like, runs this last week of Booback. You know, Booback was doing a lot with the little motor. Other guys were very impressive on preliminary nights. But something that I think most people should take notice to is, let's just say one of these small teams that everybody says makes the Chili Bowl so great, the little teams that you know, you can get your little car in there and do some damage and shock the world. Well, how they're reworking that A-Main track at the Chili Bowl for the A-Main, there's about a good 15 to 20 laps where you got to be wide ass open, and when I mean, maybe not wide ass open. That's a exaggeration, but you got to be on the throttle a pretty good bit. That track's hooked up, and it's right around the bottom. So basically, for all you little bitty teams out there, and you think you're going to go to the Chili Bowl and give it a shot, if you think you could take your little Chevy or Gertie motor with your outdated chassis and keep up with Toyotas that are jacked up on who knows more than NOS, especially, you know, the SR11s and stuff on their NOS, which I think the best NOS looking car of the week was Chris Windham, by the way. Good job there with Tucker Boat. But, and Kel Conley did a great job. Alphabet soup. Somebody's distracting me here. Brett Rose. Of course, somebody named Rose would try to sink the ship. But, at the same time, you're not going to keep up with those guys. That A-main track is reworked basically to make sure the little guys are out. Because if you got anything subpar of a Toyota or top-notch SR11 and the best of the best shop package and chassis combination in the building, those big funded cars with the good drivers that are behind the wheel are going to blow your little team out of the water for 20 laps straight around that track. And by that time, you're so far back, you're done. I mean, that's just what I think is going to happen. Now, probably the most impressive run at the Chili Bowl on Saturday night, the main event. There was plenty of impressive runs in the middle of the day in the alphabet soup. Plenty of impressive runs in the preliminary nights because, you know, ain't everybody got a $100,000 midget that night. You know, there's only about 5 or 10 of them. Was, you know, Boo back. All these other guys throughout the week. Kel Conley had a good drive. But probably the most impressive on Saturday was Blake Hahn, who went to the back twice and still finished 8th. You know, nobody really even thinks of Blake Hahn as a great driver, apparently. It's just like one of those names that comes up there and everybody says it's his relation to his granddad who runs the show is the reason he's even there. Well, when you go study Tom Hahn and Blake Hahn, Tom is Blake Hahn's dad, they kind of made it all on their own, you know, not really taking anything from the last name. So that was one of the most impressive runs to me, but I think that this track reworking on Saturday night, you know, preliminary nights, you get to the A-main, it's slick all the way around. Guys can make moves. Mains in the middle of the day, the tracks are smooth, and they're slicked off. All kinds of stuff. But when that A-main goes green, there's a solid 15 to 20 laps straight of wide open style on the hammer midget racing. And if you ain't got, Kyle Larson's really good. You know, and you could be just as good as Kyle Larson, maybe better on your best day, but that ain't going to be the difference in that situation where it's wide open on the wood for 15 or 20 laps with the Chili Bowl single file on the bottom. That's going to be a Toyota motor or a badass SR11, and I almost guarantee you that if Tyler Courtney would have, you know, I'm not saying they don't have the best, but I'm pretty sure, I haven't dug over there, but I believe that the Clausen Marshall team runs the SR11s. So, who knows? Maybe they need to shift over to Toyotas. I know some other teams have. Now, what I want to talk about, of course, Kyle Larson won, finally. I predicted this months ago, by the way. Chase Johnson did a great job. I see somebody saying that in the comments. Beeson with an S-Slinger did a really good job. Jonathan Beeson's one of the best in the business. Toyota the same as the last 3 years. Okay, thanks. Tom Hahn updated that. I believe he was responding to Mike. What did Mike say? Power, yes, exactly. Yeah, Blake Hahn had a Toyota. Anyone who's doing the best is using a Toyota. Let's just say that right now. But I'll tell you what, I am looking, and I should have did some research, but the sponsor who was on Chase Briscoe's car, the new Fords, they're coming out with Ford Performance with Mitsubishi materials. So Mitsubishi, it's hard to pronounce even though I drive one. Mitsubishi, I don't know what you want to say. I don't want to get in trouble here. And he, never mind, I'm just going to stop there. But Mitsubishi has teamed up with Ford to start doing performance 4-cylinder motors. So we could see possibly somebody dabbling there because factory support's what got Toyota over the top. You know, that's what I think. Factory support's what got Toyota over the top. Straight up. And that goes right into what somebody was saying about Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson won. Congratulations. Wah. Who cares? Like I said, I predicted this months ago. It's pretty sad. You know, somebody told me that. You know, two times this year, I predicted major event wins just because of sponsorship. When Exalta came on the David Gravel, I said he's going to sweep the week and win the Knoxville Nationals. And that's exactly what he did. And then when Lucas Oil came out and teamed up with Larson, I said I think that the Lucas Oil Midget might win the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals, and everyone can cry when it happens. And apparently everybody did. Everybody just fucking cried, and then somebody shotgun beer. Whoop-de-doo-dah day. Just unreal. Jeremiah, let's look at some comments. Russ Hall says turbo diesel. That would be kind of interesting. Jeremiah Jensen says they have got way more than just motor. I agree with you. I am sure is some serious, this is bad, Jeremiah, you're looking retarded. I'm sure some serious setup stuff is going on. I would assume that's what you tried to say. Starting at the frame build on down to tire pressures. Oh, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is like some little bitty team that you hear the Chili Bowl's all about. You can bring a little car and a little team in there and do so great. No, you can't. You may. Booback was probably going to make the main. You may get in that main event, but you're done, buddy. When they reworked that track at that Chili Bowl Midget Nationals for that A-main 55 laps, within 20 laps, if you ain't got a best of the best machine with a damn good driver, you're going to the back. You're done. Because that track's hooked up and it's going, and if you can't go, you're done. And I'm sorry about the echo sound. I'm in a church right now. I'm in a Mormon church hiding from the Catholics of Mexico, all right? I'm on the run. Anyway. The Chaz, Tampa, Florida. I don't know if I'm going to Tampa, Florida. Florida's on the line right now. And it ain't on Georgia. Even though the Florida-Georgia line look is on point tonight. I will tell you that while I wave my Sonic the Hedgehog hair. You some bitches. Anyway, I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. And I really want to get into this Larson issue. Because we got this dumbass named James Yerger or some bullshit. I don't even care about getting your name right. I don't even care. Oh, wait. Gary Nelson Sr. wants to jump his ass on here. So now you're saying big money sponsorships are the guys going to win these big races. Almost sounds like you're saying they're fixed. No, I'm saying shut the fuck up, bitch, and mind your own business is what I'm fucking saying. Let's just say, like I've been saying, for this dirt sport to go to the next level, it has to involve gambling. The gambling industry has to be involved. It had to be involved in NASCAR. It's got to be involved in dirt. So what you have to have is a few big ballers in there controlling the top portion of the field so gambling fixes can be included. This is just real. I know if you're still out there, thinking people drop, field goal holding kicks for fun. Okay, that's fine. You don't want to research real business and real shit that happens. That's fine. But that's why NASCAR took off, because they went to multi-car teams. There in the mid-90s, early 90s, they started having the multi-car teams so that a few bigwigs could have the top 10 or 15 under a little banner of 3 or 4 people so that they could be controlled. The top portion of the racing results would be controlled based on car quality. So anyway, that's just what happens. Logan Seeley looked strong in the A-main Saturday night. I'll agree with you. Logan Seeley looked great, but it looked great after the track got to traditional Chili Bowl conditions. Those Swindell cars, the 1 and the 39 that have been going and going, I'm sure they made upgrades and all that. But those Swindell cars did real good when they didn't do this huge track workover. They've only been doing this huge track workover, I think, now, ever since Clausen won, I think. Ever since Clausen won, after that, I believe ever since they switched to the live broadcast on MAV TV, they've done this track rework thing. And prior to that, the track used to get dry-ass slick from the get-go. It even rubbered down. I was there the year that Sammy Swindell could have beat Kevin Swindell and basically hit the brakes off of turn number 4. It actually pissed me off when Sammy Swindell let Kevin Swindell win a Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. It really made me mad. Because I knew if it was any other driver, he would have drove around him. And the reason I was, somewhat of a fan of Sammy Swindell is he always wanted to win. And I watched him try not to for once. But that was, I believe, and then you had the Clausen race the next year, I think it was. I'm going off just random memory. I think that's what happened. That's when they started doing this whole track rework deal. And ever since then, those cars just haven't been on the same plane with everyone else. Those cars may have just been built for traditional chili boat tracks. But, and you saw there late in the race, the 39 Acevi, his car just fired off and started coming towards the front. Now, once again, I don't want to diminish what Blake Hahn did, because, I mean, he came from the back twice and drove around a lot of people to get back up to 8th. Pat Cunningham says Tyler Carpenter's win at Gateway was twice as admirable than Mr. Can't Feel My Ego win was. What he has spent to finally win would drop anybody's jaw. I mean, you can't disagree with that, Pat Cunningham. There's a lot of money, and a lot of people saying, oh, well, that's just a little bitty one-car team that Larson has. Okay. Dumbass motherfuckers. So stupid. This is the most super elitist vehicle there. It's got every corporation you could think of besides Pepsi on the sumbitch. Anyway, James Yerger, this is what I was trying to get to. He sat back when somebody made the claim that Larson would go full-time dirt racing in 2021, which is after the Ganassi contract is up. Okay, hold on. What are your thoughts on Thorson? Seemed he worked his ass off when other young racers are on the phones in big trailers. Yeah, Tanner Thorson did a great job. He worked out a lot, or worked a lot, made the cars happen. Tanner Thorson's the best wrench on the track. Trying to think of somebody who may have, besides Larson, who built and bought and made their own car. Probably Hahn would be the closest, or Jonathan Beeson. I mean, Beeson knows what he's doing on his car. Beeson was kind of your 9-to-5 worker, literal representation. But he just had the S-Slinger, guys. That's all he's got is the S-Slinger. Anyway, I want to move into this Larson thing, because 2021, Larson is done with his little contract. And this dumbass named James Yerger said that in 2021, somebody made a comment originally that Kyle Larson is going to go full-time dirt racing in 2021 and leave NASCAR. He's going to pull a Kenny Wallace. Well, I mean, it's not really comparable because Larson's way better than Kenny Wallace, but he's going to pull a Kenny Wallace and leave NASCAR and go to dirt full-time. And then James Yerger comes in there and says, no, he's going to go to the Tony Stewart number 14 Ford in 2021. So this is why this is so ridiculous. And Steve Buckwalter, I see a little Ace McCarthy. I'm talking about guys who are in the A-Main. In the A-Main. Anyway, and Steve Buckwalter, I mean, I no disrespect, Ace McCarthy, I think Buckwalter's a little bit more talented. More talented. Somebody's in there talking about Brad's sweet sister. Let's leave her out of this. Okay? Everybody has enjoyed her. Let's leave her out of this. And that sentence could have kept on going. But I'm being nice now. I'm being nice. So, oh my. For those who know, I'm sorry. Trey Robb has joined. There's one of the baddest sumbitches that ever walked the block. Some of those people, hey, it's Trey Robb dude right here. I was watching Trey Robb, and y'all talking about little kids driving race cars. Trey Robb was 12 years old in a 360 sprint car at a track named Cowtown Speedway. Now, this track, Cowtown Speedway, is high bank. Buddy, I mean, Placerville looks flat compared to this track. And it was the fastest dirt track in Texas. A quarter-mile high bank, they sit 120, 115 miles an hour in a sprint car. Pretty fast. It was a short track. High bank, no wall around it. So if you missed the cushion, you flew off into the trees flipping. This is real. It happened. Trey Robb was 12 years old, just waxing ass on that. I mean, right on the top of the track. 360 sprint car, I mean, destroying it. I don't know what happened to him. Trey Robb knows the story. Maybe we could sit down and talk about it one day. But anyway, I want to stay on topic. So, for those who cannot project futures, the last thing Kyle Larson is going to do is going to go to a Ford for Tony Stewart because of his relationship with Chevy, who pays a lot of his dirt stuff, even though James Yerger wanted to try to jump my ass because I said all dirt stuff, and he's talking about midget racing. I don't really see Kyle Larson being a midget guy in the regular season. I don't see him on a full-time dirt midget schedule with a team that he operates and jumps on and races, midgets all the time like he does. I'm speaking sprint cars. Okay? So he does not want to burn this Chevy bridge. It's not like the last thing you do. Why? So you can go run the 14 Cup car and win coming to soon be meaningless NASCAR championships? I mean, NASCAR's done, in my opinion. It's on a downward slope, and businessmen know this. This is why Penske acquired IndyCar. If I'm an up-and-coming dirt racer, sprint car, midget, whatever, I'm looking towards Indy racing. And it's going to take off because Penske got in with NASCAR right after Days of Thunder because he saw it was coming. And that's when they destroyed Indy and everything else. It could really be a 30-year amazing plan for Penske to take over IndyCar racing because that's kind of what CART was, but I don't want to get too far off. People can't keep up with some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Just like Jeff Gordon's ass. You want to come fucking lie to me at the Hard Rock? Motherfucking Jeff Gordon trying to tell me, oh, in the 80s, CART wasn't bigger than NASCAR. What do you mean? That's what and they got mad when I started talking about organ harvesting. Okay. He said he'll talk to me later. We'll talk to you later. I'm going to make sure that. But anyway, that's the last thing I want to do is go to Tony Stewart Racing and join Ford. Because this is a manufacturer-controlled situation. All of its manufacturers. All of its manufacturers. Toyota, Ford, Chevy. And they're trying to get this Honda crap in here. So if I in Kyle Larson, and these advisors ain't going to tell you the truth, Kyle. They're just not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you what's best for you. They're going to tell you what's best for their commission on deals. All right? I know how these agents work. They're looking for commission deals. So some of these things that may be beneficial for you in the long run ain't going to be beneficial for them in the long run because they're trying to get this check. And they're getting their check off of you. So they're going to stroke your ego. You're going to feel great. Everything's the right decision. So here's what I would do if I was Kyle Larson. I would understand that Bell is about to be Toyota in wing sprint car racing. Wing sprint car racing is about to come up. I would listen to what I was just saying about the gambling aspect, where you have to control the top half of a racing series before it goes big time, so that gambling's fixed situations can occur. I would like to be, I'm just speaking from the Croy elitist perspective that you're going to be in. You're already in there in a way, knowingly or not. It's kind of like the owl tattoos, the Moloch. Some people get them knowingly or not. I would want to be in that situation as an owner or something, So I see Bell's about to be the TRD sprint car with Bo. And they'll probably go through some engine manufacturer, Speedway, who knows, with their 410 operation, whoever Toyota decides to hook up with. I see Tony Stewart over here with the Ford motor. I believe Shaver is who he hooked up with. So now we got Toyota manufacturing money. Now we got Ford manufacturing money. And I'm over here with Chevy. Now I want to be Mr. King Chevy of this shit. That's what I would be if I'm Kyle Larson. I want to take over this up-and-coming form of motorsports and have a whole sector, and I'm the king dog Penske of this shit. And then I might want to talk to, Chevy to get an actual production block from Chevy. Make it an official Chevy motor, because we all know that these other Chevy motors that are being made are just replicas. So I want to get an official Chevy motor, and I would be trying, if I was you, to go maybe through Ryder. They got Speedway with the Toyota. They got Shaver with the Ford. Now go through Ryder because you obviously love them. So you make that partnership. You make that happen. I quit NASCAR in 2021. Full time. Done. I'm done. I'm going to build dirt. This ain't my marketing people ain't going to like this. It kills their commissions. All these other people ain't going to like it. Kills their commissions. They're going to hate it a lot. They're going to say this is the worst thing you can do. Kills their check. You're taking their check away. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know if he wants to do that or not. But anyways, that's what I would do to start this leg, because this is what's happening. It's coming up. Manufacturers are about to intertwine into the NASCAR or into the sprint car, roll out all sprint car scene. That's what's happening. Ford with Stewart, Toyota with Bell. I'm thinking Larson Chevy. After that, like I was saying earlier, IndyCar's on the rise. Now you're free. You're not on the leash of the sugar daddy called NASCAR. Now you can do what you fucking want. That sounds pretty cool. Have you ever heard of that? I don't know if you have or not. But anyway, at that point, you can still keep your relationship with Ganassi. Have them set aside one good car for Daytona. You can still run your Daytona 500 with a competitive vehicle. Still pursue a Daytona 500. You could maybe even start talking to some other people, or even Ganassi, and start pursuing an Indy 500 run. So those would be the only two true asphalt races. Maybe throw in an F1 race in there. Maybe some big Trans Am. I don't know if you probably have went to Laguna Seca. But it looks like, just visually, and I'm sure most people in racing are like this, they look at something and they're like, man, I'd like to try that car on that track. Laguna Seca looks like it would be a hell of a lot of fun. But right now, being on this NASCAR leash, you can't do nothing like that. So, I would be like, hey, I'm going to run dirt full-time. I'm going to manage this team full-time. And then, hey, I may not do full-time Outlaws. I may just be outlaw, kind of run around, all-stars, you know, roll of Outlaws, big races here, big races there. And then I'll run an Indy 500. I'll run a Daytona 500. I can run this, I can run that. Because I'm in control of my life. I'm not being told what to do and where to do and how to do it. I'm managing myself. But when you do that, people aren't cutting a check off of your nuts. So that's what I would suggest. That's what I would suggest. I don't really care, Mark Showers. Kiss my ass. That's what I would suggest. Anyway, I do want to give a big shout out to Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman. Because I was impressed with Ryan Newman. E-feature win. It definitely shows car quality more than talent. Because I don't know who watched Ryan Newman. But he basically just pedaled around the track in the Clausen Marshall car. And looked better than most of the field. I mean, if you people need an example of how great these cars are compared to others, if you watch some of these heat races early in the week, if there was a good Toyota badass race car out there, it looked like 360s versus 410s. Like, they looked like another class of vehicle on the track when they were racing these other guys. It was horrible. I mean, you could just tell that this is not supposed to happen. You know, because the cars themselves are just amazing. Racetrack Photos says, could you imagine stock cars at Laguna Seca? It would be amazing. But you know why it doesn't work? Because of the monopoly in NASCAR. And that I'm getting tired of people being idiotic to the business side of this shit. NASCAR doesn't go to Laguna Seca because they don't have a hand in their cookie jar. NASCAR built a monopoly where two people basically owned all the damn tracks except Indianapolis and some families at Pocono and in the city of Dover. I think that's about it. They instilled monopolies. They took over everything. And if you're not in that monopoly, then you're not going to get a date. That's what's up with asphalt or Nashville. That's what happened in Nashville. That's why they're not going to Laguna Seca. I mean, there's all this bullcrap that's going on. People just don't want to pay attention to it. That's Deegan's company. I don't know what you're saying here. Deegan is with Ford now. Monster was scaling back already. Oh, we got a Haley Deegan argument in the comment section. And I'm sorry about the acoustics of the room. It is what it is. I'm working with what I got. But, hey, it sounds good to me. But the bigger point I was making there before they got me distracted with this Monopoly game that freaking NASCAR plays on your idiocracy. It looked like 410s versus 360s out there. It looks horrible. And that's what this Chili Bowl is about. I mean, there are about 45, no, I would say less than that. Really, that first little bitty corner row, I was really impressed with the Upgrove Ford Matt Wood Racing team. That was really good with no renter rides. The EnviroFab team there with the Meserol team, E-Steps, that's an all non-renter ride team. But can't say the same for Keith Coons and some other situations. But probably 25 to probably 40. I'll give it max 40 cars that are basically 410 sprint cars And everyone else is a 360. That's how it is at the Chili Bowl. At the Chili Bowl, it's really 4410 sprint cars. And everyone else is a 360, and they let them race. Some of them are even 305s out there. Some of them are even crate sprint cars. But then they say, big 350 entries and Kyle Larson wins. He really beat like 40 other cars. Are you going to Volusia? I don't know. I'm in the middle of some shit right now with my car having issues. If you want to join the club and help that out, links in the description. It's not join the club, the website, become a supporter, whatever you want to call it. Links in the description. McKenzie Diesel in Rancho, Cordova, California is a big supporter that made the Chili Bowl trip happen for me. And I do have a video I'm putting together. I got a lot of video work I have to do, to be honest with you. But it was insane how much the car showed through. But Ryan Newman, it showed that the asphalt guys have a smooth foot. The asphalt guys have a very smooth foot. And you have to. There is a skill. I'll even admit it myself. There's a skill in asphalt racing. It is a threshold. Now, unfortunately, that threshold is more than likely determined by car quality and setup. But the difficulty in asphalt racing is unlike in dirt where you can just sling the car around and hit the marks, throttle up the car, all that. There's a point on an asphalt car where you can't give more throttle or you start to spin out. And when you start to spin out in an asphalt car, you spin the fuck out. There's no catching it. There's no bringing it back and fishtailing. I mean, the guys who are fishtailing it around are very skilled. They're doing some crazy shit right there when you're fishtailing a car around the track on asphalt. Because you're on the edge of just junking that shit. That's the skill in asphalt. So you develop a very smooth foot, and Ryan Newman showed that. Somebody who didn't show that they have a very smooth foot is the IndyCar drivers. This was an embarrassment to motorsports. James Davison. I mean, this was an example, actually. And Ryan Newman was an example, too. Ryan Newman is an example of how current dirt racers, besides Bell, Larson, we'll throw Briscoe in there, and I'm impressed with Justin Allgaier as well. Ryan Newman had dirt background. You know, had dirt in his background. And the IndyCar guys did not, except Connor Daly's on his, like, 4th year of trying it out. He still can't make it out of the C-main on a preliminary night. That James Davison was in the M feature, IndyCar racer. But what I would like to make a point of right here is that's what most of your NASCAR drivers would do. Your Joey Logano's, your Brad Keselowski's, all these people, they would suck really bad. That's why they don't come run the Chili Bowl. Because they would suck really bad, and they're so arrogant, so cocky in their little world, and NASCAR's telling the world that they're superior to the dirt racers. They're superior to your weekly guy. That is very bad publicity if you send Kyle Busch to the Chili Bowl and he can't make it out of the fucking Q main. He can't make it into the B on his preliminary night. That's very bad publicity. Very bad. They don't want that to happen, but Ryan Newman's a great example. Ryan Newman did amazing, honestly, for his first time. The IndyCar drivers did horrible because of the financial situation to even get to IndyCars as well. But IndyCar racing is on the swing. If you think that Penske is going to get involved with something and it's going to fail, go ask Cart when he got involved with NASCAR what happened with it. They took off, but Penske pretty much owns everything. That's we want to talk about monopolies and shit. Unfortunately, Penske owns a lot of shit in racing. Or well, you can't say he owns it. He's a majority stockholder and a member of the board. See, that's how monopolies are even able to exist anymore, is because they just make it a company and appoint a board of directors. And now you can take over whatever you want. That's the difference. That's why there's a big difference in today's world between capitalism and a free market. See, a successful capitalist can gain so much power that he can take over a market, therefore making the market not free anymore because of the capitalist's capital. So, there's a way to instill monopolies now. You just LLC that bitch and take it all over. Or INC, whichever one you want. So the future for the Chaz, that's really what I got to say. I'm sorry about the acoustics or whatever once again. But Connor Daly is a partner too and hasn't done much. I said Connor Daly, he's horrible. But that James Davison was just pathetically sad. He passed for like 5th in a C, and you could see these little skinny people like cheering out the roof because he passed one car. They like lose their mind or lost their mind because he passed one car in the C main. They didn't know how bad he was actually doing. It was pretty damn bad. But the future for the Chaz. People want to know, what's the future for the Chaz? I'm not too damn sure. But there's actual talks happening right now. We are exchanging emails a couple times a day between the Chaz and somebody very important in NASCAR. Now, apparently, some people like what I'm doing in the dirt world, and they think all these little dirt racers and teams being little bitches is pathetic. They can't understand, this person I'm speaking about, how all these people don't like what I'm doing. How they don't like me talking about them and making their names big. They don't understand. He literally, word for word, we were on the phone the other day. I mean, whether you're talking about them bad or good, I mean, you're giving them so much publicity they've never seen before. These guys, nobody ever cares about these guys. You're not doing what Speed Sport does and writing the same shit for 35 years. You know, I mean, he was making fun of an editor at that point. You know, what he's basically saying is, you're doing stuff that works. And everyone else in media right now is doing the same shit that hasn't led you nowhere but down the road. So, we may be going to some NASCAR events. We may be putting a microphone in Kyle Busch's face and asking him why he thinks he's better than the local dirt track racer. We may be throwing some microphones in Horseface's face, Brad Keselowski, and you know, going after him. Basically, we're going to go after him and talk about all these dirt. I know Bobby Joe down the street can whoop your ass in a street stop. What you think about that, Brad? We'll see what he has to say about that. I go to Kyle Busch, say, Larson can win the Chili Bowl. Why aren't you going to come out there? You scared of finishing in the back of the P main, you pussy? You know, I mean, we're getting ready to come after him. I'm not scared. Not scared. But anyways, that's the future, possibly. We also have another option to go to the modified and late model racing in Arizona. We have some options to go to the dirt racing, obviously, in Florida. There's a lot of stuff going on for the Chaz. I do have a bunch of stuff I need to make and create and put out. That'll be coming out very soon. Once again, I am having a little bit of car issues. What can you expect? It's, 100 and something thousand miles since I got it. 70,000 in a year. It's over 300,000 miles now. I put 300,000 miles on it at the beginning of December, or middle of December. I'm already up to 305,000. So I've already put 5,000 miles on it in a couple weeks. Or a month. So, figure it out. NASCAR wouldn't let you. Oh, Mick Kramer, you're wrong about that. See, NASCAR knows. NASCAR knows how other sports work. See, everybody in racing is a little bitch, basically. They're scared, they're sad, their feelings are hurt because they've been raised in a high-class society of ego stroking. Whereas in these other sports, they've had to go through grit and determination. Guys coming from actual projects to the NBA had to go through fights, gang wars, life decisions. Guys from trailer parks in the NFL having to actually go through some fucking shit to get to the NFL. Having guys in the NHL having to go through some shit to get to the top. Having to actually beat the best before they go to the next level. Whereas in racing, they ain't had to face no struggles like that. They just had to get their fucking ego strokes and their bills paid for. That's the difference. So NASCAR is getting it. They get that they're losing right now because they have no actual people in their series. They have a bunch of fucking silver spoons and gold fucking plates on everywhere. They don't got no actual guys or gals who are real. They got people who have been ego stroked since birth, who can't handle anything being said about them in a negative way or they fucking cry. The only guy who can handle it or fire back's Kyle Busch, and that's his whole damn persona. Because everybody else is a punk, a little bitch to criticism. This fucking racing world needs lighten up. They need to be lightened up in more than one way. Lightened up in their ability to take stuff and lightened up as far as charging your ass up with some truth. Because you ain't been told the truth. Your whole life you've been lied to by a lot of people because of who you are and where you're at and where they want to be. You've been used your whole life because of the monetary gains that someone can get for lying to you. It's fucking sad. I feel bad for a lot of people who have just been used. And they've been used so much since their birth that they don't even know that it's happening to them. It's fucking sad. Really fucking sad. They don't even care. Most of them don't even care. They're so happy on their power stroking and their ego tripped, and they've been on cloud 9 for so long they can't see how clouds 6, 7, and 8 have used them from day one. And that's fine. Cloud 10, could go to cloud 10, but you want to stay at the lipstick lounge. That's fine. That's fine, Kevin Woody. That's fine, Kevin Woody. I'll tell you that. That's fine. Dillner couldn't get off the NASCAR dome during the Mad TV broadcast. It was annoying to the point I muted the TV when he was talking about it. I do give Kyle Busch some credit. He is running IMSA this week in Daytona. That does not mean shit to me. Running the Daytona road course race is even more of an elitist situation. You're really not beating the best over there either. There's probably better road course racers at your local fucking K1 track than there are in the Trans Am series. Whether it's sports cars, Indy cars, this is Jeremiah Jensen saying, whether it's sports cars, Indy cars, F1, or what have you, the changing in G-loads, elevation changes, and extreme braking, and throttling up in these cars flat wear you out. They may have a lot of tire girl, bad riding there, and downforce, but the consistent G-loads on the body, oh wow. Talk about girls and G-loads all over her body is disgusting, first of all, Jeremiah. I'm not even reading the rest of that. I'd rather see you than Rutledge Wood. Typical example of a NASCAR bitch right there. Anything for the dollar bill. That's fine. They can have that. That's why they're sold out. That's why their media is sold out. But guess who ain't, bitch? That guy with a mullet and a 2004 Mitsubishi Lancer with 300,000 miles sleeping at the Love's Travel Center overnight and taking a shower for $12. That's who's not bought. That's the difference. Lie. Here's how the sports world, or the world works in general. Lie and get rewarded by your daddies and be their bitch, or tell the truth, sleep out of the car at the Love's Travel Center. Or Pilot. Although I try to stay away from Pilot because of the whole Carson Elledge situation there with DNX and everything. So I try to stay away from Pilot. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see you next time. So what, oh boy, what's the story on Jeff Gordon? We heard a snippet about it. So I was at the Hard Rock Casino in Tulsa. I was talking some shit with David Gravel and another guy named Mike McKinney and Kevin Thomas Jr. and another dude named Stevie Sussex. You may know these names. And I was trying to ask David, I said, who in the world could beat Sussex, McKinney, or Kevin Thomas Jr. in any race car, any NASCAR driver? Take any NASCAR driver you want except Larson and Bell. And maybe Briscoe. Briscoe's not bad. We're just talking about a regular NASCAR guy. Any of them, in any dirt car, at any dirt track, could you beat Stevie Sussex, Mike McKinney, or Kevin Thomas Jr.? Like, for instance, Kyle Busch versus Mike McKinney in a Wing 410 at Eldora. I got Mike McKinney all day long. And he didn't have an answer. So anyways, Jeff Gordon walks over into the scene. We get to talking and bullshitting and all that. We're having a good time. I did have the mullet on, so I was in the mode. Jeff Gordon comes up, and everybody's laughing because they know what I have to say to him. So he finally comes over there, and I'm like, here's the deal, Jeff. Let me tell you something. I said, whether you're a part of it or not, this is almost my exact words, pretty much the same thing. I said, whether you know it or not, and I said, maybe you're not at fault, even though you did cry when Tom Cruise came across the stage at the NASCAR banquet when you were retiring. But I believe the co-triples, Jeff Gordons of the racing world, sort of how video killed the radio star, I believe that the Jeff Gordon co-triples have killed the sprint car star because we haven't developed any Kensers, Swindells, or Wolfgangs ever since your ass and your type of drivers came along. So, after I tell Jeff Gordon that, he's like, oh, what do you mean? Whoa. He starts talking some more. And it was a very quick instance at that point because somebody off to the side saw me getting a little bit agitated with them and they started waddling their ass over. So he goes and proceeds, I was talking, we got into it even a little bit deeper. I said, started mentioning I remember, you know how kart racing and it was kind of bigger than NASCAR and World Outlaws and NASCAR were kind of equal. And I threw down the stats, the money, how much money sprint car drivers were making versus NASCAR drivers before his ass came along and changed the world of NASCAR like Darrell Waltrip and all the actual NASCAR experts say. I said, you know how kart was bigger than, and he goes, kart was never bigger than NASCAR. And when he said that, I said, you're talking about prior to you coming along? And he said, yeah. NASCAR, are you talking, well, his words were, are you talking attendance or TV viewership? And I said, it doesn't matter. Both of them, kart was bigger than NASCAR in the 80s. Kart was bigger than NASCAR in 92. They literally took the Formula One champion. The Formula One champion, Nigel Mansell, left and went to kart. And kart was actually getting a global fan base that was rivaling Formula One. You can go look it up. This was real. And when he denied that, it pissed me off. And then that's when he started shuffling his ass away. And he, on the way out, before he started shuffling his ass away, here's what really happened. I got a little agitated. I was like, no. I said, Nigel, man, I started dropping some facts on him he couldn't reply to. And then some guy comes over in a Driven to Save Lives t-shirt. And I said, I'm talking right now. You can go organ harvest another time. And then that kind of pissed him off a little bit. It was a joke, though. I was laughing. Everybody started laughing after I said it. But I think it pissed a few people off that you may start understanding the word viable and non-viable is a couple million profitability for the doctor who says you're not. And you got a little organ donor stamp on your fucking license. There's a lot of fucked up shit that goes on in the world. And I'm not afraid of anybody or anything and talking about it. But anyway, that kind of pissed him off a little bit. And he's like, well, we got to go. The guy finally shuffled him away. And I was like, you going to be at the Chili Bowl tomorrow? He said, no, I'm flying out. I said, well, where are you going to be? He said, I would love. He goes, look, what you're saying is very interesting. This is Jeff Gordon. But we got to go tonight, and I can catch up with you at a NASCAR event. So I made some references earlier in the show. And if you want to be the monkey, I've been telling people this, if you want to be the monkey that sees two sticks and don't know how to make fire and you die, that's fine. I only want to talk to people who see two sticks and put them together and make fire. You know, you're the people that are going to take us to the next level. That's how humans took over, was the creation of fire. Because Smart Monkey said, here's a stick, rub them together, and oh, it makes fire. And then there's other humans who are like, oh, that's a stick, and they don't know what to fucking do. So it's all about connecting dots. And if you can't connect dots, then that's fine. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happened with the Jeff Gordon story. That's what happened then. And we may be going to some NASCAR races here soon to continue the conversation and to continue a few others. Presley Truesdon, I've heard some real interesting things. She was the young lady who drove for Keith Penn's Motorsports. Toyota likes her a lot. And let's just say that young lady has some balls. She has some Chaz in her. She has some Chaz in her. I don't know if I got some Viking DNA or whatever the hell it is, but we got some stand up, say it what it is type of attitudes. And I really like how that Presley, she didn't perform well on the track, but she performed well in some other aspects. Let's just say that. Those are the type of people we need talking in the background. So if you like, go talk to Presley Truston. May have to sit around for a minute to get to some real conversations, but once you get into some real conversations, she actually knows what she's talking about. She sees things and how people act and what they should be and what they shouldn't be, and she'll tell them no matter who they are, whether they're on TV, throwing down shots with their hot little bitches or not. But anyway, we don't want to talk about interracial relationships after the whole Facino shit. But we'll catch everybody next time. I thought that was a great plug. But we'll catch everyone next time. It was fun to watch the chat battle between Jeremiah Jensen and Cole Trickle. I'll tell you what. That's a good show right there. So there was 2 shows in one. Except Larson and Bell. Yeah, except Larson and Bell. Who can touch him? Oh my God. Now somebody's talking about Cole Trickle did the Bertilli Ruse School. And I don't even want to talk about how many Italian descendants are involved in this shit. I'm worried. I don't have any Italian in my blood, but there's so much Italian blood running around at the top of this thing. You know, they say old money runs the world. Well, I'll tell you what. The old money in Las Vegas remembers mob rule. Where's Kyle Busch from, guys? And also, the old money in the Northeast remembers the 5 families. If you don't know who the 5 families are, go look it up. Where's Joey Logano from? And that's where we're going to stop. That's where I'm going to stop. Jeremiah Jensen, you can call me. If anybody wants to help out, I really am in somewhat of a bind. I have some websites to finish up for McKenzie Diesel. McKenzieDiesel.com. It is coming soon. It's not out right now. But McKenzie Diesel is on Facebook. You can check them out if you're in the Sacramento area. Go through them. We got a lot of sponsors under the description. We also have a link to become a supporter. You'll get your name on here. You'll get your name on my Chili Bow review episode. The first 2020 Long Live the Chaz episode coming out will be the Chili Bow. I will put your name there. I'll put your sponsor there. And we also have other episodes from the Tulsa Shootout I still have to make with the 10J Chassis crew, as well as with some other drivers. So, we'll catch you next time here on Dirt Track State of Mind. Thanks for everyone who did tune in. We got a lot of work to do here in 2020. And where I'm going next could be determined by you. It'll all be interesting come here in February. February is so close, not too far away. And where I'll be, will it be Daytona, will it be Arizona, or will it be to Oklahoma to practice and get ready for the Turnpike Challenge where I'll be driving a midget? That is an option as well. We'll see what's going on. I'll keep you updated. Send us some messages. You can go on longlivethechaz.com. You can get some hats, get some merchandise, and everything helps out the channel and helps things keep going. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. My name is The Chaz here on Dirt Track State of Mind. And this was Let's Talk About It. As we talked about the Chili Bow and Kyle Larson becoming his own little tell her what to do guy. And I'm so proud to debut my new hair. I like doing that. It makes the neck so warm. It makes the neck so warm. It does. What up? We'll see you later.